Hey, what's up? This is Chosen. Hope you're having a fantastic day. This is going to be a Raid Shadow Legends video in tandem with a project that Plarium reached out in the content creator program and gave us all the opportunity to upload as part of a project they're doing to create a playlist on their official channel or something like that. And they wanted us to talk about our first ever Raid Shadow Legends video, which I've got pulled up right here. We'll go through some of the funny moments and highlights in there. I'll talk about the origin of how I got started kind of doing Raid Shadow Legends content and some of the funny things that I said in my first video. And I'll talk about the overall kind of environment of what I was thinking and what I was doing back then, because I've moved like 4 times since living here. And I'll talk about the whole process on getting started in Raid, and we'll take it back to the roots here for a little bit. So let's get into it. Alrighty, and there you have it. I've been saying the exact same intro and outro lines since literally the first video, like 1,500 videos ago on this channel. Some things never change. That wasn't even planned, by the way. That just naturally came about. When I recorded my first video, I was like, okay, let's get into it. And then I started off with alrighty, and it just kind of never changed. It just I did it in my first video, did it in my second video, and subconsciously it just kind of became its own thing, and now it's part of my official script, I guess. But let's start playing this for a little bit, and I will interject and talk about some stuff randomly as we go along here. To review the game for, it's going to be graphics, gameplay, developer support, paywall, value, performance, itemization, and social. So starting at the top with graphics, the graphics in this game are really good. The game looks and feels how it should, and the graphics don't look weird or wonky or too cartoony. The game looks... It's funny how I'm still saying the exact same thing years later. Like, whenever I play some of these games, it's the first thing I look for. Like, as somebody who came from the Diablo universe, as a StarCraft gamer, I'm really into the more, I don't know, kind of like realistic looking type graphics. I've never really been super into the anime, overly cartoony, bright colors, rainbows, kittens, that kind of stuff. I've always been more into that like dark, medieval, Diablo, dungeon aesthetic, and Raid is really the only thing on the market still to this day that pulls that off well. So you can tell that even in my first video, I was like, yeah, the graphics are amazing. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. So that was known from day one as far as I was concerned, and feels how it should. So I'm giving the graphics a 10 because they are what they should be, and I love the graphics and the way this game looks and feels. Yeah, as far as gameplay, this game is what it is. It's a hero collector game. So, Oh, and I remember I wanted to talk about this. Did you see that? Did you see how slow it was to get into the stage? This is on 2x, by the way. Did you see how slow? Look at this. Look at this. This is unedited. This is how slow and how long it took to start a campaign fight. This game is what it is. It's a hero collector game. So, it's not like yeah, so Raid is definitely fixed. The itemization is pretty good. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. You can put up to 9 different gear slots on your characters, and you kind of slowly build them up over time. There's all sorts of different sets, and you can upgrade them and collect. Oh, and look at this. Look at that. So some of you that are newer to Raid, you'll notice up there we could only hold 500 artifact slots, and it was brutal. Okay, now we can hold like 1,500 or something. Trying to whittle down your whole account to 500 artifacts, that was like the first year or year and a half of Raid, and it was just miserable to try and manage that. It's hard for nowadays to keep it under 1,500, but keeping it under 500 was absolutely devastating. Collect them, and you can sell them for silver if you need it. So that's all pretty good. The reason it's an 8 instead of a 9 or a 10 is because there's really no ability to craft or combine items to make a better one. Like, I wish there was some sort of mechanic for crafting items, and maybe that'll come some point down the road. This is a fairly new game. And yeah, we ended up getting the Forge about maybe 2.5 years after I made this video. We ended up getting the ability to dive into the Forge and to get crafting materials and actually forge some items in game. But we never got a mechanic like I was talking about in this video, which, to like salvage pieces, to crunch it into dust that we can use to craft better pieces or anything like that. You can just kind of sell them for silver. So in terms of a mechanic like that, it never really came to the game. So these things could be fluid, but as of now, I had to give it an 8 out of 10. So as we collect all the data, graphics was a 10, gameplay was an 8, dev support was an 8, paywall was a 5, value was a 4, performance was a 5, itemization was an 8, social was a 6, gives us an average of 6.75 out of 10. I would say anything over a 6 is something that I would recommend trying out, and anything over like an 8 or a 9 is something that I would say is amazing and you should try it right away. So this game would qualify in the recommend category for me. I would say if you're looking for a game to kind of mess around and try out, Raid Shadow Legends scored a 6.75, so I would recommend it. And if you try it out or have any input, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. This is my first video for my Chofly mobile channel, where I'm going to be kind of reviewing and covering and doing tutorials for mobile games that I play. So yeah, this was my first video to kick it off. So if you have any input or anything I can do better, definitely let me know. I would really appreciate that. And as always, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Peace. Yeah, so you can tell that my voice sounds a little bit different, my demeanor is a little bit different, and that's because back then I wasn't a consistent content creator yet. I've been doing videos since 2008, like StarCraft stuff and random gaming stuff, Diablo 3 stuff. I ran a Diablo 3 channel for a little bit, but this was my first video I ever did with like a mobile game. And I like while recording this video, you can see I'm always looking down. I literally had an iPad on my desk and I set it up some way to like screen share or something. And that's why the proportions are all off. And I had to have like this black bar on the side, is because of the way I was recording it with an iPad on my desk. And I just wasn't comfortable with the whole setup yet. And so my true personality wasn't shining through. I was very much like this. Hey, this is Chosen and we're going to go over the gameplay. I was more of like presentation because I wasn't comfortable being on camera yet, like I am now after whatever 1,000 something videos I've done on Raid. Now I'm comfortable and I'm talking to you like I would be talking to you if you were hanging out with me at my place, because it's all normal and it's all something I'm used to, so I can kind of like in my element now. But back then on my first video, I didn't do any editing either. I just talked the whole time. I just started recording and I would have like pauses in between topics and stuff with no transitions, and I just got into it and talked the whole video, one shot, one take, no editing, no transitions or anything like that. And the way that I got into Raid Shadow Legends and discovered it was one night I was lying in bed, ready to go to sleep, and I was kind of sitting there trying to sleep, and I couldn't fall asleep. I wasn't tired. So I grabbed my phone, and I was like, let me find a game to try and mess around on for like 30 or 40 minutes until I get tired enough to fall asleep. So grabbed my phone, I was scrolling through the App Store, and I saw this new RPG called Raid Shadow Legends, and I was like, okay, why not? I'll download it and try it out. Did the tutorial and did some random stuff, and then put it away and went to bed. So it's actually kind of funny that the first time I played Raid was literally to lull myself to sleep. That was literally the goal. But then the next day, I found myself logging in and wanting to play the campaign, and I didn't want to kind of put it down. I wanted to focus on my account. And at the time, I was a content creator for Diablo 3. I was playing Diablo 3 and Overwatch and a little bit of StarCraft here and there. And I kind of thought to myself, I kind of want to upload a video about this, but my Diablo audience would hate this. They would be like, what are you doing? So I thought, why don't I just create a channel where I do this, where I download a game, I play it for a day or two, and then I upload a video talking about my first impressions, and I score it based on graphics and gameplay and dev support and all of that, and I'll just make a separate channel for that. That way I don't offend my Diablo audience. And that was the concept of my Chofly mobile channel. Well, over the course of the years, it kind of evolved into my main channel, and mainly covering Raid became my main focus in gaming and content. So it's really funny how that ended up working, but the original concept was just to do one video on Raid Shadow Legends and then move on and do a different mobile game. But the first game I ended up trying was Raid, and I ended up liking it. And here we are 4 years later, and it's been quite the journey. I've gotten to make some really good friends. I've gotten to do some cool things like go to San Diego and meet some of the people that really work on the game and get to perform at TwitchCon playing the game. Meet so many really cool people in the Raid community and hang out on Discord servers and make some really good friends that I'm going to have for the rest of my life, because I decided to play Raid one night when I was bored and couldn't fall asleep. And then here we are. And hopefully the journey continues. Hopefully the game keeps taking off with the live arena, and some stuff gets added to the game that's really cool and does well. And we can keep the journey rolling and have it go on for another couple years, hopefully. So yeah, thank you, Plarium, for thinking of including me in the Back to the Roots project, where we could take a look back at the first video and talk about the journey here for the last 4 years. It's been a wild ride, and yeah, that'll do it for me on this one. Remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content. I'll see you soon in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.